Welcome to Sew with Mrs. Herbert. Our first project was pants with elastic at the waist, and I noticed as I was going through the pattern book this very simple skirt. Notice the illustrations. It shows that there's elastic at the waist. Yes, it shows different lengths, and here this one is asymmetric. In this particular one, it has a lace overlay with a solid skirt underneath. You've got two lengths here. But my point is, you can do this. Now that you've learned how to do that casing, you could make this simple skirt and look at all the choices. So I want you to start thinking about what can I make each time you learn a new skill. All right, in this episode, we're going to get ready for our project 3, which is a skirt that has darts, facing, and a side zipper. So in order to do so, we need to select the pattern, the fabric, and the notions for this project. Now, I did show you in episode 8 as we were preparing for our apron that this would be the pattern that I would be using for the skirt. But let's go through the steps so that you can find the skirt pattern that works for you that has these criteria. Let's look. So I want to tell you that I have this pattern book. This is the year 2025. And this book actually was published in 2024, but I bought it at half price, and patterns don't change that much in the book. They just have a few new ones each year. So this has been a great reference. However, this is just one of the many brands. So I went to simplicity.com in order to find some of the other brands so that I'd have a variety of choices for my skirt. So with that in mind, jot down simplicity.com. It's really small right here, but the word simplicity.com. And you can look up a number of pattern brands. So as I did so, I took pictures and was able to enlarge some of the pages so that you can see the views and hopefully the little illustrations so that we can evaluate each one. So here's a skirt. It's got a little slit in the front. So it's a pencil skirt fitted. And if I look at this picture, this pattern has pants at 2 different lengths. It has a skirt with actually 3 different lengths. So you also notice there's a dart here. That's what those little lines indicate. And when I look at this slim pants and skirt, each in 2 lengths, since they're slim, it has to have a zipper. Okay, all that said, you can see right in the illustration, there's the zipper in the back. Now I'm choosing to do one with the side zipper, but if you wanted to do the back, it's the same procedure. So this would be a good possibility for you. Now this next one, same idea. It has pants and a skirt in 2 lengths. And the illustrations for that one, because this was off of simplicity.com, they were shown in a larger view. So the links here don't show, but you can see here's a pant, a long skirt, a short skirt. So fun, possible choices. All right, here's another one. It says level to learn to sew. And this skirt, you notice that it flares out a little bit for view C. View A is a straight skirt. Actually, I don't see a B, but let's look and see on the illustrations here. Okay, so front A is a short skirt, B is a little longer, and then C is a little fuller skirt. And here you see the back views. Here's a zipper in the back with the short one, B, and it has a little slit so that you can walk easier, and then the fuller one, C. All right, so this would be a great possibility. And that one is McCall's. Let's look at this one. This is a Butterick. And you can see the fullness in it. They've got it knee length. and then longer ankle length. And to look at the illustrations, this one's a little more challenging. If you're up to the challenge, go for it. But it doesn't have a single piece in the front and a single piece in the back. It actually has seams down the side, so you have 3 pieces front and 3 pieces in the back. That's what gives it some of its fullness. And again, A and B, you've got shorter length, longer, and very full. C and D, not quite so full. So it's just a matter of design preference, what you prefer. But this again has a facing and it has a zipper. All right. Now here's another one, kind of fun for teens. Here's a very short skirt. This one's too difficult right now. We won't attempt this one. This skirt is the same except for they added a ribbon. So let's look. Here's view A in the front. They're showing you the darts front and back. And it appears to have the zipper in the back. Here's B. It's showing that has a pocket. She's got her hand there, so it's blended right in so well I couldn't tell, but there's a pocket on the front. You could leave that off if you want. That's a design accent. And then this one's too difficult. So let's look. Do I have illustrations? Yes. So we have the darts. It's got the little tab for the zipper showing you right here. Here's the other one with the pockets. And then this one's a little too difficult. Now, I haven't talked about the facing on each of these, but just notice that there's nothing extending up from the skirt. Something extending up would show you that there's a waistband. We're doing a facing, it gets tucked in. So now I can show you that better with this picture. Kind of fun. Look at how wide these legs are. So this is a very casual pant. So you've got A is a long skirt, B more knee length, long pant, and then D is like ankle length. But okay, this is what I'm talking about with the waistband. This has a waistband, which means that besides a zipper, it's going to have a button closure. So you're going to need to know how to sew a button on, which is not difficult, but also how to make a buttonhole. And that's not what I'd call a beginner-friendly skill. So on this pattern, this skirt would work, or this pant would work. And however, now that I think about that, this skirt doesn't show you any darts, so it's more fitted. So actually, this would not be my first choice. All right, this one's very fuzzy because it had to take a little picture off the internet, and then when they made it big, you know how it is with pixels and things, and so it's pretty blurry. But that's why I have the real pattern. So if I look at this, view A is a straight skirt with a slit on the side. View B is that same skirt but very short. That's what she's wearing. You can see the darts. You can see from the side that there's a zipper there. It has a facing because there's no extending waistband. And so on E, well, let's go B, here's C. So it's longer and fuller. And then E over here, it's the same one, just short. And D is the knee length. So you've got 3 skirts just in different lengths, and these 2 in different lengths. All right, I'm going to be making view D. And if you think back when I taught you about finding your size, your body type, that was in episode 2. So if you need a review on finding body type and finding size, maybe you're making something for someone else, as I am, then go back to episode 2 and review how you determine body type and size. On my pattern, I've circled in pencil I'm going to be doing size 16. Now, I think I enlarged it, so I might need to come back with that. I apologize. It turns out I did not enlarge this, so I'll talk you through it the best I can. So I'm making, as I said, view D, and I'm making size 16. So if I go to D and 16 and go across, depending on my width of fabric, if I have 45-inch wide fabric, I'll need 1 7/8 yards. If I have 60-inch wide fabric, I'll need 1 3/4 yards. Now let's look and see what else I'll need. If I look right here, A, B, C, D, E, it says interfacing, 3/4 of a yard of 20-inch or 25-inch lightweight fusible. I'm going to show you that after I finish showing you what's on this page, so we don't need to readjust the camera. Down here, it says suggested fabrics: cotton and cotton blends, gingham, laundered cottons, calico, chambray, lightweight denim, piqué, poplin, seersucker, twill, eyelet, silks and silk types, crepe, crepe de chine, laundered silks and rayons, brocade, satin, shantung, soft lightweight linen, and linen blends. Allow extra fabric for matching plaids or stripes. I would encourage you not to get a plaid or stripe for this project. When you're more experienced, yes, but let's learn the basic skills first. Now it also says 1 7-inch zipper and 1 hook and eye. In addition, it doesn't mention, but as I taught you before, they assume you know that you need matching thread. So I need fabric, interfacing, matching thread, and a 7-inch zipper. The fabric I selected for my skirt is a 60-inch wide woven twill. Now, in episode 1, we talked about wovens and non-wovens, and I only mentioned a plain weave. Well, twill is another weave. It's just not plain. So that's what this is. All right, I want to show you a little bit the hand of it. It has a really nice, we call drape. Okay, it's soft. It's firm. It's not going to see through it, but it has a nice hang for a skirt. Okay, so that's one thing you look at. If it was really stiff, it wouldn't be a good choice. If it's too sheer, it wouldn't be a good choice. So when you're looking at all the fabrics to choose from in the store, think about how it's going to drape or hang as a skirt. Now, we also needed a 7-inch zipper. And so this one tells you it's 7 inches. It's black, it matches. I have black thread. And I told you that I would show you some interfacing. Interfacing gives some firmness to your fabric. So interfacing is added to our facing. Now, I prefer to use an iron-on interfacing, and I have 2 products that I use quite often. You don't need to use these brands. It just happens that when I buy them, I use them so often that I'll buy a bolt at a time, then they last me a long time. So I happen to have a bolt of fusible featherweight, and so you can tell it's about the weight of my fabric. I like, if I had a really lightweight fabric that I needed to have interfacing on, I would use a lighter weight interfacing to go on it to kind of make a match. Now here's another one. This one's called Shape Flex. Each of the different interfacings have numbers, and they're known by that, but sometimes they have names. And this one is woven. It's a woven fabric that has little dots on it that will melt onto your fabric. And so I use this when I'm doing machine embroidery. That's why I usually have so much of it. But this would be really nice to use with my facing. It would iron on and have nice movability. Or this one. Now this one was one of those non-wovens I showed you in episode 1. And again, it has little dots on it to iron. So either one of these are good choices when you're getting your interfacing for your skirt. Wow. So we've got our fabric. We now have our zipper, our thread, and I did want to point out, was mentioning twill is listed as one of the choices. And so when I read it before, I wasn't sure if you would notice that, but that's what our fabric is. In our next episode, we'll go ahead and pin our pattern onto our fabric following our cutting layout. We'll cut out our skirt and we'll transfer the markings. So you've got time between now and then to get your supplies.